Okay, so I've made a few refinements to my layout. I've gotten rid of quite a bit of text and made some adjustments. I moved a few things around and just made things look a little bit neater. You don't want to use too much text on your layouts because the planets are really the star of the show and they should be the main focal point. Uh, this will be an image heavy layout rather than a text heavy layout. So we do need to simulate some informational text. So I think this is more than enough here. And I've also made some adjustments and done a few refinements to my infographic at the top of the page. So let's start working and adding pages to our layout. So right now we have one document page and we have our master page. So I'm going to start adding pages to my document. So we need 8 pages for each one of our planets. So let's go ahead and just drag the master icon under the first document page and just drag 8 times to create 8 pages. Okay, so now we have 8 document pages, and if I double click the document icon on the first page, I can see that my page number is 1, and go to double click the second document icon to make that page active, and I can see my document pages too. So the automatic page numbering is working correctly. Another way I can navigate through my document pages is to just at the bottom lower left-hand corner of your screen, you have a menu where you can navigate through your pages. So let's say I want to jump to page 8, then I select page 8 from the list, and now page 8 is active. So let's go ahead and let's go back to page 1. And what I want to do on each page is to customize the planet number. So the planets are going to go in order from the nearest to the farthest from our sun in our imaginary solar system. So planet number 1 will be the nearest and planet number 8 will be the farthest. So page 1 is going to be first planet, and what I'd like to do is change this number, but I find that since the page elements have been applied to the master page, when I try to make modifications, it won't let me do that. So before we are able to make modifications to each of our document pages that are based on our master page A, we need to click on our page icon. So in this case, we're on page 1, and then right-click and choose Override All Master Page Items. And now our master page items become editable. So on document page 1, I'm going to type in first. I'm going to go to page 2, right-click, choose Override All Master Page Items, and this is second planet. Go to page 3, same thing, override all master page items, and then just do this for each one of your planet pages. Now your infograph, or the way you decide to handle this kind of information may be slightly different than mine, but it is a good idea to label these as in the order to provide the reader with some kind of orientation within your solar system. Okay, so I've gone through my 8 pages, 8 document pages, and changed all of my planet numbers to match the page number. So in other words, if it's page 4, then that's where the 4th planet will be on page 4, page 3, the 3rd planet, etc. Another thing we should do if you have an infographic like this showing the relative location of your planet within your solar system is you want to somehow indicate that. So the graphic that I have these outlines for each of the planets, and the current planet, so first planet in this case, is going to have a fill added to it so that there's a quick visual reference as to where this planet is located in our solar system. So we'll just go ahead and I'm going to click on this first planet in the infographic and choose paper color for fill. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now for the second one, and so on, until I have all of my planet pages completed. Okay, so now I've modified my infograph and planet information on each page. So if I click through this, and this is something that you should do, double check and make sure that if you make page 3 active, then the appropriate information is there for page 3, and so on. Okay, and so mine look correct. Okay, one slight modification that I'm going to make to my ring planet infographic on the page that that planet will be placed is that I'd like to see this ruled line that indicates the ring go all the way across the planet. And it disappeared after I changed the fill to white. So let me select that rule and hold Shift and Option to copy, and then click and just if I slightly drag it away and then drag it back so that it locks into position, it'll make a copy directly over the original. And I'll make that copy black, and then I can just go in there and shrink the size a bit. So now I have the effect of this ring going all the way across the planet. Okay, so before we start placing our planets, we need to add one more page. We do need to have a cover page, and that's something that I'd like you to do a creative design for. So you're going to have a solar system, make a fictional name for your solar system, and then you can also make some fictional names for your planets. So in order to create the cover page, we're going to use this none template, and we're going to just go ahead and drag that template icon over right in front of document page 1. And if you see that where when I drag to the edge of the window, there's a little vertical line that appears, and that means that my page will drop in front of or above my document page 1. So I'll let go, and it adds a blank page. So that's something that you're going to want to design on your own. If I go back to my document page 1, I notice that since I have automatic page numbering applied, now my previous page 1 has become page 2, and now I've got planet pages 2 through 9 instead of 1 through 8. And we really don't want our cover page to be numbered and be part of the page numbering so that it's page 1. We want page 1 or page numbering to start on our first planet page. So the way we're going to solve this problem is by creating a section. So each section is going to start numbering the pages at page 1. So the cover page will be one section of the document, and our first planet page will begin the second section. So click on the first planet page icon, which we would like to be page 1 but is now page 2. Right click, choose numbering and section options, and choose start page numbering at 1. And make sure that start section box is checked, and hit OK. And now we notice that even though our first planet page is the second page in our document, so now our document totals 9 pages, planet page 1 is again also numbered at page 1. So if we go to page 2, it's correct again. So just double check that all your planet pages are numbered in the correct order, and that the first planet page that is not your cover is page 1, and everything falls into place like that. So since we didn't place a page number on page 1, we don't see that. Even though it's a page 1, this is not displayed any place on our cover, and that's how we want to keep it. All right, so we're ready to think about placing our first planet. As I mentioned earlier, this document should be image heavy. We want to focus on the planet and the interesting illustration of the planet. So we're going to think about, when we do our layout, something called the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds means that we think about our layout in terms of a grid where we divide our page horizontally and vertically into thirds, and we place our elements or size our page elements such as images and text using a 2/3 to 1/3 ratio. And this is something that we don't have to measure exactly, but we can just kind of eye it up. Okay, so on this layout I have approximately 1/3 of the total amount of space on the page devoted to either text or some kind of information supporting the text. So if I total up the information I have here in the header with the actual text down toward the bottom of the page, that equals about 1/3 of our page. The area in here, which is where we're going to place our image, is about 2/3 of the total area of the page. So think about 2/3 and 1/3 proportion.